Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for June 9th, 2024, from the book of 1 Timothy, Paul's Counsel on Enrolling Younger Widows in the Church Care Programs. Previously, we heard Paul provide specific criteria for the enrollment of widows into the church-supported care program to ensure that only those who truly were in need and demonstrated a life of faithfulness and good works were to be supported. Widows must have been at least 60 years of age and have been faithful to their husbands, reflecting their commitment and integrity. They should have a reputation for good works, including raising children, showing hospitality, washing the feet of the saints, caring for the afflicted, and being devoted to every good work. These guidelines ensured that the church's resources would be directed toward those who have lived faithfully, reflecting the communal and ethical priorities of the early Christian church. So let's continue with the book of 1 Timothy, from 1 Timothy chapter 5, verses 11 and 12. But refuse to enroll younger widows, for when their passions draw them away from Christ, they desire to marry, and so incur condemnation for having abandoned their former faith. Now, Paul provides guidance to Timothy regarding the enrollment now of younger widows in the church-supported care program. Paul advises against enrolling these younger widows. The reason he gives is rooted in the concern that the younger widows may be driven by their natural desires and passions and may eventually seek remarriage. And while marriage itself is not condemned, indeed, it actually is honored in Holy Scripture, Paul is addressing the potential conflict between the younger widow's initial vow to remain single for the sake of dedication to the church and their eventual desire to remarry. By enrolling these younger widows, the church risks endorsing a commitment that these women may find difficult to uphold due to their stage of life and their natural inclination. Paul further explains that if younger widows who initially commit to remain single and serve the church later decide to remarry, they might incur condemnation. This condemnation arises not from the act of remarrying itself, but from breaking a previous vow or commitment made to the church and to God. Such an action would have been seen as abandoning their former pledge of faith and devotion, which can be interpreted as a form of spiritual unfaithfulness. So, in the context of the early Christian church, vows and commitments were taken extremely seriously. Breaking a vow was seen as a serious matter because it reflected one's integrity and faithfulness to God. So, Paul's concern here is that by allowing younger widows to enroll, the church might inadvertently facilitate situations where these women are placed in positions to break their vows, leading to spiritual and communal repercussions. So Paul's instructions are grounded in both practical wisdom and theological concern. Practically, younger widows have more potential to remarry and therefore might not need the long-term support that the older widows would. Theologically, Paul emphasizes on faithfulness and integrity in one's commitment, which underscores the importance of living a life consistent with one's vows to God. God's peace and many blessings be with you, and thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for listening.